What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and we are finishing out week number 2. That's right, we're at the end of week number 2. It's our 4th game of the week, and it is going to be a game that will be starting at 3 p.m. It's going to be a midday game. That game is going to be on NBC, and it's going to be between the New Orleans Breakers and the Tampa Bay Bandits. Now, the Bandits are giving up 2.5 points to the Breakers, and the over-under, it's been at different places, but when I first found it, it was at 41 points. Now, this game, I think, is going to be a fun game, and it's one that probably throughout the whole week has had the most intrigue for me. I like the clash of the two colors. These are probably my two favorite looking teams, and they're two of the more interesting teams that are out there. I like the Breakers' possibilities, what they have in their offense. It's fun to watch Te'amu play quarterback. We'll see what happens with him there. I like Bellamy with the defense, and that defense that the Breakers have. It's a very kind of dynamic, fun defense that gets around the ball. And then on the other side of it, the Bandits have a very solid defense themselves as well. And when I look at this game, the keys to the game for me, and breaking this down, is that Kyle Sloter, he really needs to get going early. And I think that, creating easy opportunities for him to get going in this game. I think if he can get going in this game, especially early, get some nice easy throws, get some completions out there, going to be doing well. He needs to get Canella in the game. Canella is one of those just unique guys. He's a tight end that can really go down the field and really stretch the field for you and really make some nice catches. And so if those two can get going, especially though Sloter needs to really up this game with it. I think that when you look at things with the Breakers, the passing game is really where the offense really needs to pick things up. I thought that the running game has just been just fine. Both of the guys that have been running the ball for them have actually been doing a really good job. Ellis, I think, has been doing a fantastic job there with it. They kind of got a little bit of a two-headed monster, but mainly Ellis has just been, really breaking through, really doing a good job of gaining yards and that with it, to where I think that this offense could really come together if they can get Sloter to start a little earlier. Last week, it was a little struggle, and then he kind of picked things up as things went on. Never really got over that hump that I would like to see him, but I think that would be a really good thing for him. The other thing that I think that needs to happen here is in this game is really the defense. The defense, though they did a really good job with the pass last week, they need to do an even better job with the pass this week. They need to pin their ears back, and they need to get to the quarterback. They need to stop Te'amu. Bellamy needs to have another bang-up job, and he and the rest of the defense, they need to step in there. They need to step up. They need to really go after Te'amu and really just cause some havoc for him and just really make his day very, very difficult to complete the passes with his team. When it comes to the Bandit side of things, the keys for me here are they need to limit their errors in the passing game. There's way too many, and part of it was Te'amu, part of it was his throwing, but also it was just the drops, the mishandling of passes, not catching passes, not being in the right positions for it, just in their passing game. And it just seemed like there was just a lot of mistakes, mental errors, things of that nature that kept them from really taking things to the next level. Because, last week's game, they really could have not, won that game by a lot more than what they did and the showing that they had. And they've got a really good defense to where I think that this offense, if it can just step up a little bit more, I think would be better. And when I look at this, Te'amu really needs to establish the pass here. It sounds kind of funny because usually you want to establish the run, take things on with the run, and that. But for me, that's going to be their bread and butter. That's going to be their go-to. You need to even things out with the run, and I think that they're going to have some runs. I don't think that the running game is where it's going to be at with this team. I think that you really need for them to really have a good, successful offense, I think that Te'amu needs to be throwing about 250 yards a game, which is a lot in the USFL. But I think that needs to be there. And if they can get about 75 yards on the ground, I think that that's going to be good for this team. But it's all going to start and end with Te'amu here, and which is a little bit different. They had a little bit better running game when he was there in St. Louis. But this is a little bit of a different team, and he's a little bit of a different player. And I think that especially with having some time in the NFL, maturing a little bit, we need to see a little bit more of that maturity. And I think that comes with eliminating these errors that they had last week, and then that can take them to new heights this week. But they definitely need to be pass-first, pass-minded team, and I think that that's going to be really good for them. The other thing that they need to do is that I think that their defense really needs to stop the run here. As I said earlier, the running game was the key thing for the Breakers. They ran the ball really, really well last week. I would really like to see that continue on with them. But for the Bandits, they need to understand that they're going to try to establish the run, and the Bandits really need to pin their ears back and do that. And they did a good job of that last week, of stopping the run last week, but they're going to need to even do a better job of that this week. And so it'll be interesting to see how they attack the running game and how they come after them with that. This week with everything, I feel like all of my instincts were off. I mean, the teams that I thought would win, most of them did, but the way that they did was totally different than what I thought, to where my initial, I'm kind of going against my gut here, which I usually don't do. So, in this one, I'm going to take the over. I think that this is going to be another fun shootout type of a game. I think that we're going to have a game that's going to be in the high 20s by both teams, maybe even a team breaking into the 30s. I'm thinking like this one's going to be a close one. It's going to be like a 32-29. I'm going with those weird numbers, or 32-28. I think it's going to go down to, a last possession, but I think that it's going to be the Breakers stopping the Bandits as opposed to a team scoring at the end. And I think that the Breakers are going to win. I'm just going to pick it right out here right now. I think that they're going to shock people. I think that Te'amu's not necessarily going to have a bad showing, but I think that they're going to make enough mistakes to where they're going to be able to take advantage with it on the defense, and that the Breakers defense is going to be the difference in this game. They're going to get the stops, whereas the defense for the Bandits isn't going to get the stops, and that's just kind of how I see it. I see that this game definitely getting on the over side of things, and I'll go ahead and take the points with the Breakers. I'm going to go ride with the Breakers this week. We'll see what Larry Fedora and his team has in store, see if they can do that. If Kyle Sloter can come and just be a little bit better than what he was last week, I think that they'll do well. I think that right now everybody's, because of what Te'amu did in the XFL and because he spent some time in the NFL, bettering his craft, getting better, that people think that's going to propel them forward. I just don't think he has the firepower around him to do that. And so as I look at things with this, I'm going to go with the Breakers, and I'm going to go with the over in this. Like I said, it's against kind of my gut and my feeling and what I think I should do. But that's been this week, and hopefully this will be an exciting one. As always, I want to know your thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section, and we'll continue the conversation on down there. All right, listen, guys, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. Have a good night.